Predictions, then hope you forget about how wrong they were. But not Mackey and Judd.
Write this down.
This is the big leagues, where we own our terrible predictions.
Write that down.
And keep track of each other's batting averages. It's Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down?
With Mackey and Judd.
That's right. Welcome into the most innovative, cutting-edge segment in sports talk, where we hold each other accountable every single week for the predictions that we make. And we take new swings. We bring guest listener predictors into the show. This is Write That Down. Mackey, Judd, executive producer, Declan Goff. And Judd Zulgad has been very Ted Williams-like, very Tony Gwynn-like. I'm trying to think of a more modern hitter that flirts with 400. That really doesn't exist anymore.
I was going to say, I don't think it happens anymore.
When's the last time we even had like a flirtation with 400? Probably Tony Gwynn 20 years ago. And now Judd Zulgad, and Write that down.
You know what? In 2009, Mauer was like 390 in June.
Yeah, Mauer was
that might have been legitimately the last like 400 flirter hitter.
Yeah. You drink wine cool as Mauer.
Wine cool as Mauer, you sock.
This is Write That Down, presented in part by PXG Minneapolis. Fall golf season is the chef's kiss.
I have tee time Saturday and Sunday because the Vikings don't play till 3:30. I'm all in, baby. I'm ready to rock.
A little morning golf. If you're looking for some of the best clubs, some of the best apparel, one of the hottest brands on the market, PXG Minneapolis in Southdale Center. It's a golfer's paradise. Just step foot and it'll just be like, oh. In fact, when you walk in, it'll just be like. So check them out, PXG Minneapolis, Southdale Center, and pxg.com/Minneapolis. We'll get to guest listener predictor Drew here in a moment. But here's how Write That Down works. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you guys want to participate, send us a message. And if you could send it specifically to Declan, he is the organizer of scheduling these things. You can send us a message through the feedback link in the Score North app, which is free to download. It's a central hub for everything we do on Score North, Purple Daily, Mackey and Judd, video, podcast, Judd's written work, and also alerts when breaking Minnesota sports news hits. So are you guys ready to be held accountable?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I want to see this.
That's a bloodbath.
Or do I?
We'll start with Judd Zulgad. You had a few things come off the board. You said Kellen Mond will this one might need a ruling, actually. You said Kellen Mond will not be second on the Vikings depth chart to open the regular season. So I'm giving this to you.
Yes!
He was second on the depth chart all the way up until activations.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
He was third.
technically he was third on game day behind Mannion, right?
Yeah, this counts.
Okay. Just want to make sure that
or close to it. But yeah, it counts.
Just want to make sure that the processes are all right here. You said the Twins and the White Sox will have at least one bench-clearing incident in 2021.
I honestly thought, stupidly, that this was going to be a race.
Yeah. Well, I also didn't know that they were done playing the White Sox on August 11th. Otherwise, I would have cut this one off the board earlier. I just haven't watched a Twins game since the trade deadline.
Yeah,
that's not
you're
entirely
Mariners
true.
Fan now. Mariners cracking. You're a
I
big
can't
fan.
I can't get Mariners game. Even if I wanted
They're
to
great
jump to the
story.
Mariners, I can't watch Mariners games locally unless I have a local cable package because Major League
ripped
Baseball
them.
doesn't make their games available. So
We ripped them on opening day at Target Field. The Mariners. All of us did. That lineup, we literally said this is
I
going to be such a
recognize
crap lineup. And look at us now. Look at us now.
great evaluators of baseball
Yeah, way to
talent.
go.
Mackey, Judd, Declan. Adrian Peterson will be on an NFL roster when the 2021
Why did I
season
say that?
begins.
Idiot. Stupid.
He's nowhere to be found. I think he's probably done at this point.
When did I say that?
And then 5 years ago, this is one of the oldest predictions on the
Nice.
board. Judd said this in
Larry
2016.
Larry Brown, baby.
He said the kickoff will be out of college football by the 2021 season. That's right. You think you get away with one from 5 years ago?
No. I never thought that.
Can't sneak one by the Write That Down committee.
Go!
All right, a little bit of a bloodbath here.
Hey, who's got my Stella, give me my sunglasses.
A little bit of a bloodbath here for old Macadac. I said Daniil Hunter will tally a strip sack against the Bengals in week 1. This one really hurts. I gave you a parlay. I said before week 1, Brian O'Neill will agree to a contract extension that slots him behind Ryan Ramczyk.
Oh, no.
And Braden Smith. Oh, God. Why did I add Braden Smith? Could have had this one. He was slotted in right behind Ramczyk as the second highest paid right tackle. I said the Gophers would cover the 13.5. I think they lost by 14 or something. So that was another rough one. And then I said Josh Donaldson will get hit by a pitch or thrown behind him or above his head by the White Sox at some point this year.
We made those predictions. It must have been very close.
So that one's wrong. All right, listeners, also kind of a bloodbath here. Wade said the first passing play of the regular season against the Vikings will result in a Daniil Hunter sack.
Get
I
it
also
back.
had that on Purple Daily.
Jacob said the Twins will make the playoffs and reach the ALCS this year.
Sorry, Jacob.
And Alex said the Twins will win the division, have the best record in the American League, and not only play in the World Series, but specifically they will play the Padres.
The Padres have completely fallen apart.
But they're still going to make the playoffs, aren't they?
They might not.
Don't they have the third best record in the National League, but they're just in a ridiculous division?
The two wildcard teams right now are the Dodgers, and after last night, the Cardinals. Okay. And the Reds are next, and then I think the Padres. But the Padres have been a dumpster fire. Tingler might get fired there as the manager.
I saw, was it Kenny Rosenthal? Somebody wrote an article in The Athletic. I just saw the headline. Everyone laughed at the Cardinals for trading for John Lester and Jay Happ, and I'm assuming those guys must be pitching lights out for the Cardinals.
Jay Happ has been nice for them.
Imagine
Classic,
that. Imagine that. You escape Minnesota and good things happen to you.
All right, Declan had a couple things.
This is just a bloodbath.
Primetime NFL parlay.
Oh my God.
I'm glad this one didn't come down to semantics. You said the Bucks would beat the Saints. They don't even play each other.
Yeah.
But then you said the Rams will beat the Bears and the Ravens would beat the Raiders. So I'm glad that the Ravens lost so that we didn't have to deal with the mismatch of Bucks and Saints.
To be clear, I would not, if he had got that right, I don't care about the opponent. So, to be clear, I would have given Declan the point.
I agree, but it's, he said the Bucks would beat the Saints specifically. They would not have beat the Saints.
I'm for nailing people on things that are slightly off that actually are important. This one to me was just a mistake.
And typically I care about myself and my predictions in all of aspects of life. But when the Raiders beat the Ravens, I was actually just so into that football game. I didn't even care that I came off. I was like, that's fine.
Did you guys see that the Eli Payton megacast did not do very well in the TV ratings? My guess is it wasn't widely known enough that was happening. They should legitimately consider. This would probably be a huge problem for sponsors and ratings and stuff, but they should make that the featured ESPN version of the broadcast at some point. Maybe not right away, but maybe in a year or something. It was excellent. Chris Long and I were just going back and forth. Chris Long from Channel 5.
Fantastic.
That you had, think about the last 30 minutes of real time in a back and forth game, and you had probably what's going to be 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, because I think Eli gets in, breaking down endgame strategy, criticizing the coaches, and making fun of each other and laughing. What more would you want?
And Russell Wilson coming off the top rope.
Yes.
Which is an active player ripping the Raiders was fantastic.
Yes. All right, and that brings us to, we got Dex's, the last one here. You said Tanner Morgan will throw for at least 2 touchdowns and 220, and the Gophers will beat Miami.
He was 75% of the way there after the first half, and then he had zero passing yards in the next 2 quarters.
But we don't care because we were enjoying Surly's in the suites with our listeners.
So Judd's still sitting at 400, down to 400, but still sitting at 400, leading the league here, 5 home runs. Declan, 343 with 2 home runs. I'm at 341 with 2 home runs. Listeners at 296 with a league-leading 6 home runs. Judd up to 180 career hits, which leads the league since we started really officially keeping track of all-time stats in 2018. Listeners have 15 home runs in their careers. So let's do it. Let's get to Drew, our guest listener predictor here. Unwrite that down. It's a return trip to the Write That Down playing field for Drew. What did you learn the first time, and what is your strategy here on this episode?
The first time I was just a little bit too specific, but you guys have taught me a lot, and so I think I'm going to try to be Joey Burrow and deliver a couple of 10, 12-yard strikes down the field, get that average up a little bit.
Good for you, Drew. I'm still learning, by the way, so it's a long game.
We all
it's a
are,
very
man.
long game.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So we're going to go around the room 3 times. We'll start with Drew, over to Judd, Declan, and then back to me, Phil. And you just have to make sure that we're quantifying our predictions. Otherwise, there really are no major rules.
Write this down.
All right, Drew, lead us off.
All right. So I think we'd all agree that sometimes Kirk locks on to his first read. And he's kind of focused on where Adam Thielen is. So write this down. Adam Thielen will average more targets per game than Justin Jefferson over the 2021 season.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's a shame if that happens, but that's what I think is going to go down.
I think KJ Osborne might get more targets than Justin Jefferson at this rate, too. Seems like there's been a trust.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, Judd.
Future Buffalo Bill, Justin Jefferson.
Wow.
Write this down. Garrett Bradbury will be benched at some point this season. So we've been talking about this. I'm just going to flat out call it. And Mason Cole probably should not be playing, but too bad. Garrett Bradbury will be benched at some point this season.
Is it possible for Mason Cole to be a worse pass protecting center than Garrett Bradbury? Because I don't. I
just don't think this works anymore. I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
Write this down.
Dex.
All right, my first prediction. Kirill Kaprizov will reportedly sign his contract before the Vikings win their first game.
Okay.
And I'm putting the reportedly in there because I don't want to get burned that the official contract doesn't come down before the Vikings win their first game.
Good
So
work.
Kirill will sign that contract before the Vikings win their first game.
Okay. Down for that.
I'm gonna parlay 2 different sports, but yeah.
Okay.
Write this down.
All right, so there are some Vegas sports books that have PJ Fleck as either the odds-on or second best favorite to take the USC job.
Yeah.
There's also some James Franklin reports out there jumping from Penn State, although that would be a huge – I think he's one of the highest paid coaches. He's like one of the 5 or 6 highest paid coaches now at Penn State, so USC would probably have to make him like Nick Saban type money. But here's my prediction. PJ Fleck will not be the next head coach at USC. Let's calm down here.
Down.
Yeah,
I also had that written down. Yeah, I know.
He will
I knew I
not
should have
be-
led with that.
He wouldn't have to change his wardrobe much. The colors are all going to be pretty similar, USC and Gophers, but he will not be the next head coach at USC. I think they would have to whiff on like 5 or 6 other guys. There's going to be Eric Bieniemy's name has been floated out there.
Right.
So don't worry, Gophers fans. Okay, back to Drew.
All right, little Ben Simmons prediction. It's kind of a parlay here. I think that Ben Simmons will play a game for the 76ers this season, but he'll be traded before December 1st.
Okay.
I wonder if he'll go Aaron Rodgers and try and sabotage things on his way out.
I don't know if
maybe he'll miss some free throws in the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a good job in the playoffs. What do you mean?
All right, Judd, your second prediction.
So I didn't write this down after seeing it in training camp, and I regret it because it already came true on Sunday. So I'm going to take my next write that down and actually improve upon it and say Justin Jefferson will throw at least 1 touchdown pass this season. I saw him throw the ball in training camp after practice, and he's got a good arm, and he actually completed a pass to KJ Osborne on Sunday. I should have had that as a write that down, but I did not. So now I'm going to say he will throw at least 1 touchdown pass this season.
All right. Yeah, you've been on it. You kind of called that.
Write that down. Nice arm. I like his arm.
Dex.
My second prediction, football one as well. Both Taylor Heineke and Teddy Bridgewater will lead their teams, the Redskins and Broncos, to wins this week. Couple former Vikings quarterbacks. So both Taylor Heineke and Teddy Bridgewater will lead their teams to wins this week. Redskins play Thursday Night Football against the Giants. The Broncos, I believe, have the Jags. I forget who the Broncos have, but both of them will get wins this week.
A lot of chatter about Washington's quarterback situation and Ron Rivera being the head coach. Cam Newton was his quarterback for like 8 or 9 years in Carolina. And but the chatter being, why has there not been chatter? Like, if Cam can't get a job now that Washington's situation is decimated with his former head coach of 8 or 9 years, then like who would give him a job? Interesting. I guess we'll see. The drama.
We'll see.
All right.
CFL perhaps?
The XFL is coming back. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Are they coming back?
I think it's coming back.
Are they coming back still?
2022.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
XFL. I like that. Okay.
Peterson, Cam Newton.
That's what I was just
All
gonna
right,
say.
write this down. The Gophers, I need to swing for some home runs here, okay? I only have 2 on the season. I feel like my power stroke has not been there this year. The Gophers and the Vikings will both pull upsets this weekend. Write it down. They're both underdogs. The Gophers they're both going on the road. I think the Vikings are 2.5, 3 points or somewhere in there, maybe 3-point underdogs, and the Gophers are like 2.5. It's right around the same. Is it 4?
I thought they were 4 originally after Sunday. That might have changed, obviously, since. But yeah.
So, and by the way, 92% of the money is on the Cardinals for this game, according to Action Network, which is incredible. So, but fear not, the Gophers and the Vikings will both pull upsets this weekend, going for the home run.
Write that down.
All
right, back to Drew. Your final prediction.
Phil, I love you, but I couldn't disagree more with the last prediction. So I'm gonna go against you here. I just feel like, sometimes you look at an opponent's defense and you say, "Oh, this is gonna be a tough game for Kirk and the O-line." I think that's gonna happen. So 2-part parlay. 1, Kirk is gonna fumble the ball at least once, and 2, the Vikings lose by at least a touchdown.
All right. Yep. Here for that one. That's okay. I can take it.
Write that down.
All right, so Drew, you've got this platform here. It's a life-changing moment for you, clearly, right now. Is there anyone in your life you would like to thank that brought you to this point on Mackey and Judd?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my brothers, Alex and TJ. They helped me polish these predictions off. They're kind of my swing coaches, so to speak. And last and most importantly, Surly Brewing for getting me through the Vikings this season.
Go.
I'm just really psyched that I can enjoy some Furious while the Vikings melt down.
Yeah, gonna need more of that.
People are doing
Definitely
my
need
job
more of
for me. This is awesome. I can just
It's
sit
Drew
back
here for Surly Brewing Company.
Drew, you want a piece of the
Soda's
endorsement?
finest. Awesome, man. Well, Drew, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you being a loyal listener of the show. We'll get you on again. All right.
Hey, thanks, guys. Cheers.
All right, that's listener Drew making his predictions,
Write that down.
taking some cuts.
Write this down.
Got his swing coaches, got his hitting coaches, helping
Got his
him out.
endorsements all lined up. I like Drew.
That's hilarious. All right, Judd.
Okay, I've got a PJ Fleck. Write that down. There will be a credible report that PJ Fleck has interviewed with USC officials about the head coaching job.
Wow.
So they will at least talk to him. I don't know he's going to get the job, but I think they will at least talk to him. So we'll get a credible report that he has talked to USC officials.
How would that timeline play out? Because I feel like it's hard to be super public about it until after the regular season, right? Logistically, they get a bye at some point, but I almost feel like USC did this as a way of saying for the next 2 months, hey, we're open for business.
Yep.
Back channel as you need, and then we can have more official conversations around like Thanksgiving time.
Yes, exactly.
Right? That's probably what's happening. All right, Declan, you're third and final.
Write this down.
A little bit of a bunt single here, but whatever. Christian Darrisaw and Anthony Barr will remain inactive in week 2.
Yeah, I think Darrisaw for sure, right?
Darrisaw
He's
for
barely
sure.
practiced.
Zimmer's talking today, and it said he was asked about Anthony Barr's status, and he was like, he's feeling better than he did yesterday. That was his quote. So
Okay, that's good.
But I'm going to say I'll loop them both together too, because I think it'd be too much of a Judd Zolgad bunt special if I did just Anthony Barr,
Hey,
one of them.
don't
So
come
I'm going to loop both. Of them.
Don't come at me. Take responsibility for your own bunt single.
And I am. I will take responsibility for my bunts.
We'll allow it. There's definitely
There's
definitely a bunting quality to that.
Write this down.
Yeah.
I'm going the other way here, all right? I'm going to one-up one of Judd's predictions from earlier in the session. So you said Bradbury's going to get benched this
You're
season.
saying Hall of Fame. He's going to Canton.
Yes,
Yeah, he's
I'm
going-
saying I'm buying low on Garrett Bradbury. No, I'm saying, write this down, not only will Bradbury be benched this season, he will be benched before the bye. And that could either mean in-game or it could mean
Okay.
Yep. He will be replaced for non-injury reasons.
Yes. Yeah, bench does not mean bench means if he is sent to the bench for performance purposes at any point during a game, to be clear.
Yep. Or to start or to start a new game.
Or to start, right. But if he gets taken out at halftime, that counts as benched.
Yep. So there it is. Those are your write that down.
Write this down.
Predictions.
Write that down. I don't have a pencil. Well, remember that then.
The most high wire segment in sports talk, where we openly admit how incorrect we are. When are you guys going to admit that you were wrong? Hey,
Every single
Mackey.
Wednesday.
Hey, Zolgad. Why don't you admit you were wrong? Well, That's what you get every Wednesday here. And I can assure you that the accountability session is going to be even more meaty on Purple Daily today.
Good.
Where we do football predictions. So.
Excellent.
Reckless Speculation Thursday, tomorrow on Mackey and Judd with our guy Darren Doogie Wolfson. Inside information about your favorite local sports teams. But that's a wrap on today's episode. See you guys.